Afternoon everybody. So today we're going to be looking at what politics actually is. So I'll run through a few various bits and pieces with you. The linguistic origin of politics lies in ancient Greek, derived from the word polis. That refers to a particular state, that word polis. So politics is arguably coming from this idea of managing state affairs. When we're talking about state affairs, we're looking at the interlinking of these different states and how power will come into this. Although politics derive from this word, in practice it refers to the management of state affairs and things like that. So we're looking at a narrow definition of what politics is, but we're really looking at protection of the people and making sure that everybody has a say, which is a key idea of democracy as well. So it might imply a little more than protecting the people from internal or external threat, but also ensuring their general welfare. But we also need to take into account what is meant by the word government, which is what we'll look at in the next video. So often, and perhaps too often, political conflicts can break out into violence. If we're thinking about politics being the managing of state affairs, politics should be also about conflict resolution. So we can think about Northern Ireland, the revolution in Russia or Libya, civil war in China in the 1930s and 1940s, Somalia, Sudan, more recently Syria, that's still going on at the time of recording this video. Such violence can be viewed as a failure of politics. The whole point of politics is try and resolve these conflicts. So what we need to also look at is the existence of different groups within this. So politics also involves a conflict of different ideas. Modern politics wouldn't be politics unless those that took part adopt and promote ideas as to how the state should be run and how society should be shaped as well. So we therefore have this real conflict of ideas. Here's a couple of examples then. We've got contemporary political ideas such as private organisations and individuals should be able to compete in offering services to the NHS. The opposing view, those of you who know about the political spectrum will see the opposing view is of a different political party who say private sector should not be involved in the provision of state services. It'd be worth pausing the video and having a look through some of these. So what is politics again? Well, some would argue that politics is all about protecting the interests of certain groups. A particular example here is the Countryside Alliance, which defends the interests of members of rural communities, and naturally saw the Conservative Party as its most traditional supporter. In more general terms, interests will use a variety of methods to further their aims, involving public demonstrations, media campaigns, influence in Parliament, and so on. So again, here are some examples of interest groups' aims and the opposing interests there as well. So pause the video and take a little look at those. In addition, when we're looking at what politics is with regard to power, politics is also about the desire for power. So we're looking there at the struggles for it. And we see this in day-to-day when we're watching anything to do or looking at anything or reading anything to do with politics. We're looking at competing parties against each other. So national, European, regional and local elections as well. We also look at individuals competing to become representatives in local councils and regional assemblies and Westminster Parliament itself. In addition, individual politicians compete to be appointed to senior positions either in the government or in the opposition front bench, or at the very highest level of power there's also a struggle to be the Prime Minister within the governing party. These struggles are usually what we see and think of when we think of politics. Examples here, Thatcher and Blair. When Thatcher was elected party leader of the Conservatives in 1975, the policy direction of her party began to change massively up until, well, during her premiership in the 1980s, up until 1997 or so, where the Labour Party, after 18 years of Conservative government, really started to change direction after that. In 2010 we saw a new kind of struggle. We saw the first coalition government since the Second World War. So we really need to be thinking about where this struggle was coming from, this desire for power. So that's what politics is. Next video we're going to be having a look at what government is.